All right, hey guys, I'm fortunate enough to have the Air Force Director of Strength and Conditioning, Matt McGettigan, visit Total Performance today, and we've spent a lot of time working on doing some speed development stuff and talking about strength and conditioning, and I just, you've got some awesome things that you do there, and I wanted to just have you talk about what it's like at the Air Force Academy. It's a very different place, real special place, so maybe give people some insight on what it's like to be a coach there.
I think, Jim, we have a great opportunity to work with a lot of great young men. And again, I'm responsible for football. And again, my responsibility to them, I think, is to help them in a 4-year window is what we get, is can we help them achieve their potential as an athlete, okay, that plays Division I football, and to play at the highest level that they can achieve. I think that's my responsibility to them.
Yeah.
We have a young man that is very determined, pretty highly motivated, high achieving mindset. Mm-hmm. What we've tried to do is create a culture of train hard, train smart, and what we do again applies to trying to make them better athletically instead of just doing work for the sake of work, because their time is a commodity, and what we do, we have to do well. We don't, I'll be honest with you, we don't get real complicated or fancy, but what we try to do is be good at the basics, be good at the fundamentals. The other thing as a coach there, trying to find a balance with all the cumulative effect of the stress that they're under, is can we allow them to continue to make progress through the time they're there.
Because they have to do a lot of other things besides football, don't they?
They obviously highly academic, an institution, the military responsibilities. They are required of doing some other physical testing, physical education, especially during the spring semester, that they have to go through as part of there again, it's more of a combined effort. And the mission there isn't to create football players. It's there to develop officers of character that are going to go into the Air Force and lead. So that's the ultimate mission that I again have to remind myself what we do.
Yeah. But you've been able to be part of really turning that program into a winning program. Do you think some of those things, just practicing fundamentals and working on basic things, do you think that was your role, if you will? What do you think you did to contribute to some of that?
I think what we tried to do is to put together a performance program and really look at a bigger picture, I guess, if you will, that what we do is a means to the end, and the end is them playing on Saturday afternoon and having a chance to be successful as an individual, and then for us to have a chance that we can be successful as a team and an organization. So that's the thing, I guess the culture we try to instill is that we're trying to help you, become better, not for the sake of just numbers or performing hard work, but what is really, what's our function, what's our responsibility, what is the means to the end.
And we were talking about some things that you feel like you might do differently now, as far as from a coaching standpoint and teaching and all that. Looking back now at your career, and you've been in Air Force for 8 years, and you were at Iowa State before that for several years. So you've put your time in. What looking back, what are some things that you wish you would have done differently?
What I wish I would have been able to learn earlier, or is again really, how do we create better athletes and better movers, and through the weight room, through our strength training, through everything we do, how can we create a better equipped athlete that is strong, that is explosive, that moves well, that is mobile, that's durable, all those things. I wish I would have known that earlier in my career.
What were you doing before?
We did
beating them down.
We conditioned them hard and probably grind them up a little. I didn't have a sense of that. That how do you apply the stress, and we'd work to work, and we'd work hard every day, and nobody was going to outwork us, and we were going to always do one more. That was the mentality I'm afraid that I had.
Yeah.
And did we get guys stronger? Yeah. Did we get guys that were fit? But I don't know if we really helped them get better. I guess that's what I wish I would have done a better job of, and having understanding of the total process.
Yeah, complete
Training.
Athletic development.
Exactly.
Not just beating the guy down.
Not just saying, hey, we got this many guys to do this much.
Yeah.
It doesn't correlate.
Yeah.
And that was a mistake that I made.
But I did that too, and I think a lot of coaches did, is more about like how tired can we get them, and what kind of numbers can we put up.
Yeah.
So now that you've kind of realized some of that, what are some things that maybe you've changed over the last 5 or 10 years that you do differently now than you used to?
We're out of the weight room more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we try to do more, movement always precedes strength. Strength is for a reason. Mm-hmm. We're using strength to help us be better movers.
Yeah. You do all your speed stuff before your weight room?
Yeah, everything all the movement precedes the strength work.
Yep.
We try to have a somewhat of an organized plan on what we're trying to accomplish from a movement standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I guess I wish one thing about being at the Air Force Academy, because of our size, in order for us to have a chance and to be successful, movement, I believe, has to be priority number one.
Yeah.
Not that we disregard strength.
Yeah.
We want guys strong that are pound for pound strong, relatively strong.
Yeah.
But then can they express that strength in an explosive manner? That's what we're trying to get to.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is the piece that I did not do a good enough job early.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, we're going to lift, we're going to get, put weight in the bar, we're going to get stronger, but there was no, how do I say, connection to what we want to try to get done.
And now that's kind of what you're doing. You have 2 hours with them every day, just because those are your restrictions. And you were telling me that you do basically an hour of movement, speed, plyometric stuff, and then an hour of strength.
That's how it breaks down.
So you're looking at it as like half your time is
spent with movement.
Yeah.
And that's where that's the other part of the scale. Is before it would have been, probably an hour and a half of strength and 30 minutes of movement. Now we almost move more than because when we look at, we're going to move for an hour.
Yep.
Okay, we'll probably lift, maybe for less than an hour,
Yep.
and then there's going to be some type of recovery built into that program, which is something that we're gonna finish with some type of recovery.
Meaning like stretching, foam roll,
foam
that kind
roll,
of stuff?
soft tissues, post stretch. We do program that in now.
Yeah.
In the past, maybe that was again an afterthought. So when you look at it, we may lift for 45 to 50 minutes. We try to do the basic things well. Try to focus on on the proper movement patterns. Are we doing things correctly? Do we look like we are? We're trying to take guys that become good weightlifters but great athletes, and not great weightlifters but average or mediocre athletes. Is what we're trying to. So we want to be technically proficient. We want to be able to press, squat. We want to be able to do some Olympic variations. We don't want to be, I'm not trying to create Olympic lifters, but I do think we want to be able to do explosive movements and do them well, and again, get the most bang for our buck, if you will.
And I like how you programmed. It's an upper-lower kind of 4-day split, and one day lower body is unilateral and one day's bilateral. That's a pretty cool concept.
That's something that's changed too.
Yeah.
That I have not totally gone away from bilateral movements, but I do think the single leg component is something we've evolved into too.
Yeah.
More unilateral work, and I think as it applies to, again, what we do athletically.
Yeah. So, you've changed, and you've seen other friends and people change. Where do you think this field is going in general? This field has changed a lot in the last 10 years. Where do you see it headed?
I think if there's two camps, there's still the old school camp, and there's still some, and what we're trying to do is find the best balance of basic work, movement, performance, and blend it into a package of still doing things is in a team concept. There's discipline, there's structure, there's attention to detail, there's accountability, but there is there's a method to it. There's a plan behind it. There's an organizational structure that's helping us, each guy individually get better.
From a job standpoint, do you feel like things are going in the right direction? Are guys, other strength coaches, are they getting a little more balance in their life? Is the pay going in the right direction? Are there more people on staff? Do you think it's going in a good direction that way, or is it still a pretty tough job?
I think there's more jobs available,
yeah,
but there's a lot of people going for those slots.
Seems like a lot.
And it is saturated. A lot of people want to get in the profession.
Yeah.
I was very fortunate that I was able to get started in it when I did,
yep,
and had the experience that I had. I think if the good people that have the knowledge and can put it together will be at an advantage, and people that kind of get it and understand the big picture will be farther ahead. I think it's progressed into something that, especially from a football standpoint now, where the strength coach is some places, on the staff, hey, this is an important position.
Yeah.
We're going to emphasize it. But I think doing it the right way, I think there's something. If you do it the right way, I think there's a lot of positives it can be, and it can be really a benefit to a program,
yeah,
and to athletes.
Are there things about the profession or things you see going on that just kind of grind you and you wish that you didn't have to see them anymore?
Just some of the things like, how to put this, some people may win in spite of what they do.
Yeah,
because they've got,
better athletes.
They've got better athletes, and they can just, maybe instead of developing talent and developing players, it's maybe just, plug the next guy in.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that that.
Do you see a lot of people like high school coaches or personal trainers who, like, when they're looking to see what they should do, they just look at whoever won?
I think there's a copycat effect a
Yeah,
lot. You
yeah.
see success, well, we're going to have to do that instead of having I always like to see guys that who gets the most with the least.
Yeah.
Those are that's when I look.
That's what you guys do.
We try,
Yeah.
we try.
Yeah.
But that's what who's really developing and who's doing it consistently.
Yeah.
From
From day one till they graduate, are the guys changing, and how
and are they getting better? Are they staying healthy?
Yeah.
Do they feel, it's amazing how many guys that are just, they shouldn't be that beat up
Yeah.
at that point in age.
Yeah.
I know injuries are part of it,
No,
but it's a violent, it's a violent game.
yeah.
But I don't think that some guys that you see should be that, multiple surgeries and
Yeah. You see it all the time.
something I don't think is right about that.
So we didn't talk about this yet, and I don't mean to throw a curveball at you. So how do we judge from the outside? Like, how do we judge a strength coach? Sometimes you'll see lists like in Sports Illustrated, the top 10 strength coaches, but it's all based on winning, and that's not really your job. Like, how do you know if a guy's doing a good job?
What I look at is when you go and watch some, the only thing is that the athletes are a reflection of the coaching, right?
Yep. Yep.
And the best way, I think, to really judge somebody is you got to go see him work,
Yeah.
see him coach, see him teach, and then does that is there an impact on what they do, and you see it translated to their athletes?
Yeah.
That I think that, because I can sit here and tell you, hey, we do this, this, and this, and then when you come say and watch us do it, they don't do any of this, right?
Oh, I've seen that
So
before.
I think there's a proof in the pudding
Yeah.
that what are you actually doing,
Yeah.
and what is the end result of that?
Yeah.
And that's how I looked
hard.
at it. Because I can only take care of what I'm responsible for.
Yeah.
And only thing I can. But that's what I want to see what you do.
Yeah.
And what are the end results? And is there a long-term goal for health? And do you sincerely have their best interest in mind?
Yeah.
Not is it not
just winning.
use guys up, right? Not just win and use guys up, but try to help, hope for the betterment of the individual, the betterment of the athlete, the overall well-being, I guess.
That's great. Well, it's been a real pleasure having you here. I'm glad you stopped by today, and thanks for sharing some of your thoughts with us, too.
I appreciate it. Thanks. Thank you.